Welcome to Storywise English. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe for more inspiring English stories that will not only touch your heart, but also help you improve your English skills. Lena was a poor girl who lived in a small broken house at the edge of the village. Her family had nothing but hope. She had a loving mother and a younger brother, but their lives were filled with struggles. Lena's father had left them when she was very young, and her mother worked tirelessly as a maid to put food on the table. Some nights, they went to bed hungry, with only water to fill their stomachs. One fateful day, Lena's mother fell ill. They had no money for a doctor, no one to help them. Lena sat beside her mother, holding her frail hands, watching the woman who had sacrificed everything grow weaker. One night, her mother whispered, "Lena, you must be strong. No matter what happens, never give up. Promise me." Lena nodded, tears streaming down her face. That night, her mother passed away. Left with only her little brother, Lena had no time to grieve. She had to survive. She took up any job she could find, washing dishes, cleaning houses, carrying heavy baskets at the market. Her hands became rough, her body tired, but she refused to give in. When people mocked her for dreaming big, she only worked harder. Despite her struggles, Lena had one passion: learning. She had no money for school, but she would sit outside classrooms, listening to lessons through open windows. She borrowed old books from kind strangers and taught herself to read and write. She knew that education was her only way out. One evening, as she sat under a streetlight studying, an elderly teacher named Mr. Sharma noticed her. "Why are you studying here in the cold?" he asked. Lena hesitated, then said, "Because I want a better life." Impressed by her determination, Mr. Sharma decided to help her. He gave her books, tutored her in the evenings, and encouraged her to take a scholarship exam. Lena studied day and night, sometimes skipping meals just to focus. When the results came, she had passed with the highest marks in her district. She was offered a full scholarship to a prestigious school. School was tough. Other students had nice clothes, expensive books, and comfortable homes, while Lena had only her passion. Some laughed at her worn-out shoes. Others whispered behind her back. But Lena remembered her mother's words: "Never give up." She worked harder than ever, proving to everyone that she belonged there. Years passed, and Lena's hard work paid off. She earned a scholarship to college, became one of the top students, and was offered a job at a multinational company. The girl who once cleaned streets now sat in an air-conditioned office, making decisions that impacted thousands. One day, she returned to her old village. She walked through the same dusty streets, but this time, she came back as a symbol of hope. She built a school for underprivileged children, ensuring no girl would have to struggle the way she did. She stood in front of the students and said, "If I can do it, so can you." Never let anyone tell you that you are not enough. Lena's story became an inspiration to many. She had proven that no matter how tough life gets, hard work and determination can change everything. She had lost everything once, but she had built her life back with courage and resilience. And in doing so, she gave hope to countless others, showing them that dreams do come true as long as you refuse to give up. But success was not the end of her journey. Lena continued to push boundaries, helping women in villages start small businesses, teaching them skills and giving them confidence to stand on their own. She became a voice for those who had none, proving that education and perseverance could break even the strongest chains of poverty. One evening, a young girl approached her with teary eyes. Didi, I want to study, but my parents say girls don't need education. Lena smiled and took her hand. Your dreams matter. If you truly want to learn, I will help you. That girl, inspired by Lena's journey, later became a doctor, proving once again that one act of kindness can create ripples of change. Lena's name was now known far and wide, but she never forgot where she came from. Every morning, she reminded herself of the little girl who once sat outside classrooms, hungry for knowledge. She had turned her pain into power, and now she was helping others do the same. Years later, Lena was invited to a global conference on education. Standing before thousands, she shared her story, her voice filled with emotion. Education saved me. It gave me the power to change my life. And now I dedicate my life to ensuring every child, every girl, gets that same chance. Her speech was met with a standing ovation. But for her, the real success was seeing the hope in young girls' eyes. On the way back, she visited her old street and sat on the same step where she had once studied under the dim streetlight. This time, she wasn't alone. Dozens of young girls sat with her, holding books in their hands, eager to learn. She smiled. Her journey had come full circle. As the sun set behind her, an elderly woman approached her. It was her childhood neighbor, now with wrinkles of wisdom. Your mother would be so proud, Lena, she said, her eyes glistening. Lena held her hands, feeling the warmth of home. For a moment, she was that little girl again, hungry, barefoot, and lost. But now, she had become the guiding light for so many others. Not long after, she started an initiative to provide free education to underprivileged children. Her foundation expanded across the country, reaching thousands of students who once had no hope. Lena knew she couldn't change the entire world, but she could change the world for those who needed it most. One evening, as she walked through the halls of her school, she saw a young girl studying under a lamp, just like she once had. The girl looked up and smiled. At that moment, Lena realized her struggles had given birth to something far greater than success. They had created a legacy. Years later, she received an invitation to an international summit on education. As she stood on stage, sharing her journey with the world leaders, she saw familiar faces in the audience. Some of the very children she had once helped. They were now doctors, engineers, and teachers, carrying forward the torch of change. It was then she understood that true success is not measured by wealth or power, but by how many lives you touch. One day, a little girl tugged at her sari and asked, Didi, will I be like you one day? Lena knelt down, looked into her eyes and said, You will be even greater. Thank you for watching. If Lena's story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Storywise English. Keep learning, keep growing, and remember, your journey to success starts with a single step. No matter where you come from or what struggles you face, if Lena can do it, so can you. See you in the next story.